with breaking news, 3 people are in custody for the killing of a 16-year-old girl in Aurora on Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lauren Scafidi. Aurora police say Audrina Arrington was shot during a home invasion. The first of 3 suspects, April Collingwood, was arrested Wednesday. The second, Cooper Miller, was taken into custody yesterday, while the third, David Gunyon, was taken into custody today. According to Aurora police, Collingwood planned and recruited Miller and Gunyon. Police suspect they got into Arrington's apartment early Tuesday. After a struggle, shots were fired and Arrington was killed. We'll continue to update this story throughout the day on 9 News and 9news.com. President-elect Donald Trump is now the first former or incoming U.S. president to get a criminal sentence, but this morning's rulings did not involve a punishment. The judge's official sentence was unconditional discharge, which means no jail time, fines, or probation, ending the case. Trump was convicted in May of 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. The conviction of this kind of crime is eligible for up to 4 years in prison and several thousands of dollars in fines for each count. During the hearing, Trump repeated that he committed no crime. Vice President-elect J.D. Vance has officially resigned from his Ohio Senate seat. He had served 2 years of his 6-year Senate term. Ohio's governor will appoint Vance's replacement. That person will fill the seat until a special election is held next year. New at noon, the Department of Homeland Security says more than 800,000 immigrants from Venezuela and El Salvador will be allowed to stay in the U.S. for another year and a half. Homeland Security says economic conditions in Venezuela and heavy rain damage in El Salvador are the reason they're being allowed to stay legally. This announcement comes about a week before President-elect Trump is set to take office. He's repeatedly made promises about hardline immigration policies. Trump has also said he plans to start his mass deportation plans here in Aurora. Winds are once again complicating the firefighting efforts in Southern California. Crews are making progress on the fires that have already killed 10 people, but they're bracing for those strong Santa Ana winds to return this weekend. Right now, 153,000 people are still under evacuation orders, but firefighters have contained 8% of the biggest fire, that's the Palisades fire. It's burned more than 20,000 acres and destroyed an estimated 5,000 structures. The Eaton fire in the Pasadena area is 14,000 acres in size and has burned at least 4,000 structures. Crews have 3% of it contained right now.
It's been pretty hectic, you got, spotting from house to house, and you think you got control on one, and then the winds pick up, and another house catches on fire.
An Aurora fire crew and brush truck will be leaving this afternoon to join other Colorado firefighters in California. We'll have more on their mission later on 9 News. Back here at home, much calmer. It is a beautiful afternoon right now, but will it stay that way for the weekend? Joining me now is Keely Chalmers with our 9 News Weather Impact Team. Hey,
Yeah, good afternoon. We got high pressure building in. That's bringing us a day full of sunshine. We will certainly get those winds picking up, though, along the Front Range Mountains, and the foothills. We are talking about strong winds gusting at times up to 65 miles per hour. But let's take you down to Southern California, where we do still have a red flag warning in effect for Los Angeles, Ventura counties. That goes until 6 o'clock tonight. Hey, the good news, a little bit of good news, if there's any good news down in Southern California, is that we will get a break in the winds a bit tomorrow before they start picking up once again on Sunday. So hopefully Sunday through Wednesday, it's looking really windy, not only here in Los Angeles, Ventura, but all the way down to San Diego, where we have a high wind warning in effect. But tomorrow, a bit of a break. Hopefully those firefighters can get a foothold on those fires. 34 degrees at DIA right now. The winds calm at DIA, but again, picking up. We're in the 20s and 30s across the plains. Taking a live look at a radar, just a few high, thin clouds, but keeping our eye on this system up to the north and west of us, bringing showers up there to the Pacific Northwest. That'll be snow once it moves in tonight. We are going to stay sunny and clear as we head into the overnight hours. So again, just a few clouds out there, mostly sunny skies. Our forecast high 40 degrees. We're looking at 30s and 40s across the plains. A look at your weather headlines. Sunny but windy once again in the foothills. Mountain snow moving in tonight. We could see some flurries across the plains tomorrow. We'll talk about that coming up, and drying out and warming up as well. More on that coming up in your complete forecast.
Keely, thank you so much. Douglas County authorities are looking for the person who fired shots in a drive-by shooting in Highlands Ranch. The Douglas Sheriff's Office says on January 3rd, around 3:30 in the morning, an SUV passed a home on Deneb Drive multiple times before it stopped, and a person fired 2 shots into the home's window. No one was hurt. Authorities believe it was a blue Chevy Equinox that could be a 2018 model or newer. It also had blacked out lights. If you know anything about this shooting, call the Douglas County Sheriff's Office. The Denver Sheriff's Department has fired one of its sergeants, and our 9 News Investigates team got video that reveals why. An officer pulled over Sergeant Bridget Andrews for going 90 miles per hour on I-25 last April. The body camera video shows the officer walking up to her window, and she's holding her department ID and badge holder. The officer scolded her during the traffic stop and notified the Sheriff's Department. Discipline records show Andrews was not fired for flashing her department ID, rather for not being honest about what happened. She's appealing her termination. The city and county of Denver is moving along in its efforts to hold landlords accountable for their properties. 25,000 landlords are now licensed, and Denver calls it its largest upgrade in residential rental property standards in city history. Getting licensed means that there's a third-party inspection to check on safe living conditions like a working heater, running water, no mold, etc. It started because tenants were complaining to the city health department about unsafe living conditions. So, for the first time, Denver required landlords to get a license for all residential properties. This happened in phases, though. So in 2023, licenses were only required for landlords of multi-unit properties like apartments. Then last year, licensing was required for all residential rental properties. Now the city is cracking down on those stragglers.
But we're going to continue to scrape the internet. We're going to continue to look for those properties that are advertised as a place for rent and compare it to our licensing database so we can find those landlords who are getting licensed.
Landlords can face fines from $150 to $999. The city has issued almost $95,000 in fines for those who are not compliant. Right now, the highest court in the land is deciding the fate of TikTok. The Supreme Court heard arguments about the law to ban the video sharing platform from the U.S. TikTok lawyers argue it's a violation of the First Amendment. A ban in Congress passed last year, requiring TikTok to either shut down or find a new owner. The app is currently facing a deadline of January 19th.